I'd
Yeah.
love for you to touch on activation therapy and its benefit for men in getting out of that funk, getting out of that depression, and actually getting some of this stuff done.
So rule number one in Men of Action is we don't pay attention to people's words. We only pay attention to their actions. We don't listen to the words. We only pay attention to people's actions. And this helps you when it comes to business dealings. It helps you when it comes to dates. It helps you when it comes to anything. I only pay attention to people's actions. There's a great book by Jonathan Haidt called The Happiness Hypothesis. And on the cover of the book is a rider and an elephant. When you're talking to someone, it is the rider who's communicating with you back, but it's the elephant who's in charge. The elephant is your subconscious. The rider on top of the elephant is your conscious. And so often what will happen is people will tell you one thing, but they're telling you what they want to believe or what they want their narrative to be, but their actions will be different, right? It's the fitness model who's secretly taking steroids. Like it's that kind of things. Like there's a hypocrisy going on. Or it's the woman who tells you she only wants nice men and you see all of her ex-boyfriends treat her like crap. That would be an example of the elephant and the rider. Rule number 2 in Men of Action is all human behavior can be explained through evolutionary psychology. I have yet to see this one fail for me. And so you can go through and you can actually use evolutionary psychology in order to describe any type of behavior, behavioral activation therapy. So let's take a look at this and say, from an evolutionary perspective, why would this make sense? So let's consider your ancestors. You still have the psychology of your ancestors because selection pressure ended as soon as Homo sapiens became the apex predator on the planet. Once groups of men picked up spears, now they are the apex predator over the elephant, the lion, the tiger, whatever. They're the apex predator on the planet. And then that's when you see an explosion of population. And then once we get the broad spectrum antibiotics in the 1940s, then we see the population there's 1 billion people on the planet in 1900 and 7 billion people on the planet in 2000, right? So, or 6.5 billion, somewhere around there. So now when you come to that realization, then it's like, okay, what are the things that aided us in survival? And you asked the question about behavioral activation therapy. Anything that would have aided us in survival, our brain would reward us for. So now consider 2 scenarios. During the Pleistocene, you have a guy who's sitting in a cave feeling sorry for himself because he wasn't able to catch the gazelle yesterday. And you have another guy who's like, I didn't catch the gazelle, but I learned a lesson. I'm going to go catch one today. The guy who is resilient gets back up and continues to fight to bring protein back to his tribe. He's going to be rewarded internally with more dopamine and serotonin. And then once he kills, like Ted, I'm telling you, there's no equivalent feeling, I think, for you and me that we'll ever have that is equivalent to like bringing meat back to our starving tribe when 50,000 years ago. There's probably no better feeling that you and I will ever have in comparison to like the survival. You think about the brutality of our existence, of Homo sapien existence 50,000 years ago. In fact, there 50,000 years ago, there's multiple forms of hominids on the planet. Once we get to 27,000 years ago, we've killed them all off and there's only Homo sapiens left. Neanderthal goes extinct. So when you think about those concepts, okay, what are the things that we would reward ourselves for, or society would have rewarded us for? And the thing is accomplishing goals, behavioral activation therapy, going out and taking action. When you take action, then that's a way. So now think of a great example. Go out and take a walk. You take a walk in sunlight. There's several studies that show this. You go out in sunlight, you take a walk, and it'll actually help your mood, right? That's an action that you take as opposed to reading affirmations in a book, but staying inside and then continuing to pack on body fat, which aromatizes testosterone into estrogen, which also can cause men to go through depression. So those are the things that you've learned through time. Evolutionarily, men taking action is a great way to cure depression. We just see it through an evolutionary lens. It just makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the equivalent of whenever I'm in a funk, I hit the gym and I feel better. Or Tuesday, the day that we're recording this, I literally have work, gym, and then right at family time. I have no time to BS. And if I'm in a funk on Tuesday morning, I guarantee you by 5 p.m., 6 p.m., I feel great because of my busy day.
Your body,
there's just no way around
it. Your body thinks you're taking action in order to go kill food for your tribe or build fortification or whatever it is. So your body rewards you with protein synthesis through testosterone, and it causes you to have bigger muscles. It causes you to have bigger muscles, and you need more testosterone, which what makes you more assertive, more aggressive. It makes you. It does all these things that make you more accountable as men It may helps you, gives you an ability to focus, all these different things. And so you're rewarded by behavior. You're rewarded with, the reward center in your brain fires and you actually feel better, and it can cure depression. Now, consider this. If I'm here telling you that eating better and then going out and taking action cures depression, what have I done to Big Pharma? I've crushed them. But Big Pharma does not like when people talk about this. They really don't like this idea of a holistic way for you to do a cold plunge, intermittent fasting, eat paleo, eat cleaner, and then go out, get sunlight every day, drink a gallon of water. There's these things you do, and then all of a sudden you don't have depression anymore. Well, then I don't need your erectile dysfunction drug. I don't need your ADHD drug anymore. I don't need your narcotic that's supposed to help me sleep. I don't need your Xanax. I don't need your Lexapro. I don't need any of these things anymore. I've crushed Big Pharma by using holistic, what we call prehistoric methods in order for you to cure depression, which makes more sense because you were evolved for a prehistoric time. You're not evolved for 2024. The only reason you still have the same psychology is because there's no selection pressure. There's 8 billion people on the planet and 400,000 elephants. We won. Humans won. That's what happened. There's no selection pressure against humans anymore. So no matter what happens, like humans are not selected against ones that suffer from depression. As long as you live long enough to have children, there's no selection pressure.